I spent like fucking forever in queue today. I think my homie got in too. About to mess him here in a second. See if we fucking. How long? Okay, well. The Baldesian Annex. Whoa. It's good to be back. Treated our labors safely in storage. But now, we have but to wait for the others to return from their respective meetings with the Alliance leaders. As Thancred suggested, you should get some rest in the meantime. Time to sleep. Welcome back, Zoe. Has apprised me of your recent accomplishments. An amazing feat to eliminate a tower and pave the way to deal with the rest. As in much, I've changed your sheets and plumped your pillow. After all, there's nothing like collapsing in a nice clean bed after completing a major milestone. Stone, even, sorry. Be it pinning a thesis or defeating Deforium entities. Would you like to take a look at your new and improved lodgings now? Fuck yeah, I would. Time to sleep. Time to sleep. And we got an Archon loaf. We got a bread. We're obtaining the grain. We got the bread. Flower's white now.
Take heart and protect them well.
The squad!
Good, you're here. You haven't eaten yet, have you? We've bought quite a spread if you're interested. Only the finest dining from the last stand.
This is great. This is amazing. Man's got a whole ass burger. Shit, I like the pickles. It'd be funny if he took it. He's like, yeah, another one.
Lest you wonder, we invited Estinian as well.
But where is he?
But he refused with a rather grim-faced, "No, thank you." I suspect Charlian cuisine is not to his liking.
It looks fucking great to me.
Oh, I don't know about that. Perhaps our lone wolf just needed some time apart.
What? To perfect his brooding stare? Next time, I'll drag him out by the ear, sit him down in front of a Charlian feast, and see that he eats every last bite.
Get him, girl. Get him. Get his ass.
An excellent idea. Of all people, warriors must take proper meals and rest if they are to maintain a healthy constitution.
That is true. Rest is very important.
Poor Estinian, beset on all sides.
Speaking of one's physical condition, Mistress Quile, I hear you recently played literal host to Heidelin herself.
And what an experience that was. Tiring, yes, but no lasting harm done. If anything, I should have liked to speak with her longer. I've not felt a hint of her presence since.
I mean, she didn't like it, yeah. Wasn't for you. Gotta move on.
Heidelin instructed you to carry that flower, yes? will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. And then something about seeking joy in darkness, was it? Come to think of it, isn't that what happened with Nidana back in Radzat-Han?
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt, the relief of a people with renewed hope.
Indeed, and in turn, I felt buoyed by that radiance. 'Twas akin to spotting a beacon and knowing we were on the right path. I know we've not yet triumphed over the Telophoroi, or learned the full breadth of the Forum's plans. But even within the midst of our struggles, we find small moments of joy to sustain us. Rare and hard-won perhaps, but it is this pursuit of happiness that gives us the strength to carry on day after day. Hey, that's mine.
Like, yeah, my
To the
fucking
swift
cookie.
the spoils. Though I recall that levitation spell of yours was quick enough.
Abracadabra, put her in the dirt.
Only barely. And even at my best, I'm still too slow to wield it effectively in battle. Mayhap I simply require more practice with this new magic.
You unearthed it from the depths of Numenon, I presume?
Numenon.
Aye, and from a veritable mountain of arcane tomes at that. 'Twas necessary to facilitate my solitary explorations.
Or, to put it simply, you used it to sneak around the Forbidden Archives.
Wow.
Yes, well, after a fashion.
Trying to hand you the cookie.
They're tall, you see. The shelves, they're too tall for me. And I could hardly move the library's platforms without attracting attention now, could I?
Wow.
Oh!
That's fucking funny. Wholesome, even. There's a donut left. The brand donut, I bet. No one wants the brand donut. Ah. Are we pushing until dawn? Oh yeah, we're making these this
I'm
party
not
go.
that ambitious. But 'tis pleasant to idle away the hours every once in a while.
There's a muffin. The macaroon, I think. That is macaroon. What's green, boy? Friendship? That's fucking cool. What you got, buddy? Moon's haunted. Ghostbusters. My boy Fandana.
Enjoying the bracing cold, I see. Do you not own a warm coat or a cloak?
He's fucking
Something in fur? Or fashioned from the skins of your enemies?
Jesus.
Or... well, never mind that. I come to you once more as the bearer of bad news. Our tower in Thavnir has been toppled, and I need not tell you by whom. Given how many we have at our disposal, the loss of a single spire is hardly fatal to our plans. It does, however, slow the rate at which we siphon ether. If they continue to preoccupy themselves with the towers, then all will be well. But should our foe prove bold enough to strike at us here, then the timing becomes questionable.
Our foe is bold enough. Of that, I can assure you.
Hell yeah. Coming to your door. Let me in.
Yes, very
Let
well
me in.
then. I suppose I must prepare a proper welcome. Honestly, talk of your nemesis is the only thing you seem to enjoy. Does nothing else spark your interest?
He's obsessed.
No. All else is equal. Equally tedious. Equally disappointing. The world is a tepid bog into which we sink, too weak to thrash as the mud clings to our eyes and fills our throats till we blissfully choke.
Alright, negative Nancy.
But then came the light, blinding and pure and hot, so very hot, enough to set my soul aflame. I basked in the afterglow until the void yawned once more, and then I knew the muck would never claim me again. There was naught for me ahead, so I drew the curtain on all that had come before. Burn, burn, let the whole star burn. I will have my contest. I will reclaim my moment.
She's gonna lose again. I'm saying.
How wonderful that the emptiness of death has not dissuaded you from committing your life to its pursuit once more. I don't know whether to envy you or pity you.
You question my disinterest, but what of yours? Despite your noisome antics, I sense you take little pleasure in this endeavor.
Mercy, my lord. Such pointed barbs from one who barely acknowledges my existence.
Aww.
Nevertheless,
Or you.
you are mistaken. For I do find this part somewhat enjoyable. You see, when I was mortal, I would always have the same dream. It was a fragmented thing, disjointed, all the faces incomplete. The setting, too, was unknown to me, so I thought it simply a fantasy of my sleeping mind. Until one day, I realized it was showing me the truth. Much as your dream of the final days enlightened you. And soon, very soon, the rest of the world will see the truth of my dream, too. Yes, I think that is something we can both enjoy.
Okay. Wings of Hope. Hey, that's 82. 1 second. Second. Alright, it's on the bell. Skulls in. Pewter weapon. Nice. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the studio, as it happens. I want to try and speak with the scholar Monteshane. Thank him for coming to our rescue at the rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us, following the hearing, only to find that we'd departed for Thavnir. Knowing him, why hoping to chew the cud with his former students. So we're still waiting for Shola and the others. I thought now would be the perfect time to pay him a visit. Better join me? Like, yeah. I was sick. And it's settled. The twins will be coming too. Assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys, you rally the troops while I go on ahead to the phenomenon. Considering my recent property, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. That might be for the best. The others should return, although we won't be long. Hello? Heading out for a stroll? Scholar himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I'm too eager to see him. I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphino of all people worrying over his reputation. And our alma mater, no less. The wonders never cease. I understand soon enough. Off we go. The studio. Da, da, da. The corral. Sected. Here it is. Phenomenon. While I expect you've made note of it before, you can hardly miss it. The first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by expansive auditoriums, also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. The center of what would later become the studium was established to promote the study of aetherological phenomena. It's the name. The aether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, even the universe itself. Then in the 432nd year of the 6th astral era, phenomenon was decreed complete, and the studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long storied history, it is without question that the world's leading authority in aetherology, arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Charlayan's foremost educational institute. I always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed. I've long since lost track of how many times he's recited the same foppish speech, such as the underlying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then. Minister into the studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and aetherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. And now, it's fucking Alphino. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? From where I stand, you're equally prodigious. Holy. Prodigious. Prodigious? Scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino actually entered half a year before me. Or did I do well enough to graduate with honors? I am certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all aspects, have I been in his shadow. If nothing else, just remember that I was here where the legend of Alphino Levalor began. You should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully, be somewhat more welcome than we were here the last time we were at the last stand. Sorry. I know better than anyone the adoration of the student body has grown for Alphino. And with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Oh, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's go look for Scholark Monache. Other faculty tend to frequent their office, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wherever his whims take him. Let's put up and ask the students if they've seen him. We've seen this old dude stood up for these rambunctious fucks. Yeah. That was Alphino Levelor, wasn't it? The Alphino Levelor? Oh, with the sister and Master Baldesian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epic shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry. Said you were looking for the scholar? Yes. Knowing him, he could be anywhere. Miss Alifo should have a better idea. Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a training gleaner, fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome. Searchers meet. Let me start with the question. What's the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Searchers Meet. Wherever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, send the gleaners out to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Pasa this, tongue of giant toad that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end. It's possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish. It's being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. Only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Skullik's whereabouts. I beg your pudding. You're not a gleaner? And this was all an elaborate ruse. No, wait, come to think of it, you never actually claimed to be one in the first place. My mistake. Damn right. Oh, okay. Who you talk to? He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Back the way you came in, you'll see the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. Lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Ha! In the meantime, in the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the Skullik has probably already left. Best luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Yeah, where's the Skullik? It's in here. Yes, the Skullik was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. Parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Don't growl, what you doing? Not surprisingly, the Skullik is not in his office. I did, however, speak with one of the students that saw him not long ago. But he can't have gone far. Yeah, stay hydrated, homies. You got me in here, right? Yeah, there he is. Oh my lord. What's up, Monishane? Want the shame?
Ah, I remember you.
Good.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisoix in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the Forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Breaks out the belt.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
X-Men's with the one guy like had the force choke thing going on. And Champion was like, "Shut your mouth." I don't know if that's how that's supposed to work.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
The body? I would assume. Corporeal ether.
Yes, very good. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well.
Okay.
In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The seventh Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty.
Someone's gonna get that.
We must wait until we return to the ethereal sea.
See.
For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
Core
What
memories.
happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that was a lot to think about there.
I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
Yeah, hell yeah. Time to learn. Going back to school.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan.
That was a
Her
gleaner.
network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
What a cool dude. Sound the bell, school's in, dude. What a cool guy. Granted the run of phenomenon. Your game, Cal Alifo would put your artistry to good use. What does that mean? Also, this is a better one I have now, right? Hell yeah, try on. Simple, clean, I like it. It's given me much to mull over. Because though we're one step closer to understanding the form's true motives, the mysteries of life itself, for measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. On that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way, you'd better acquaint yourself with Ki Alifo, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. I can't speak with her. What do you need? I see. This is just for. I'll do that shit later. Alright, back to the annex. To the annex. What's up, girl? Welcome back. From what I hear, trip to the studio proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warring scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring leadership to the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring our scales, the scales in our possession, to Limsa. The time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's early to say for certain, but it does seem that is the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan. Let's see what awaits us in Bildbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of the storage. Give me a hand, would you, Stinian? Stinian's like, what the fuck? Gotta work? Ah. Fuck. Nice little packages they are. Ew, didn't realize these crates were so heavy. Shouldn't complain though. Butcher and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales. We must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? Unless I would like to escape the form's watchful gaze, I have little choice but to stay behind. Already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were to be found by consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here, do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and the other allies. Good luck. We'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide's about to turn. I can feel it. Limsa. War is afoot. Second. My friend's still in the... Yes. Look. We're not. It's not. Okay, so... Interesting. What's up, Zathal? Zathal? I was told to expect you. You may or may not be aware the Admiral is present entertaining the Elder Seed Seer and the Sultana. We're the most powerful women in the world in one room. You need a moment to spare, or to prepare, or shall I show you them? Do you need a moment to prepare? You wanna contain yourself? Protected? Of course not. Why would it be? My apologies for calling you away from Trillian at such short notice. On the contrary, we're honored and grateful. Pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right the discussion be conducted in person. We're locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers. It's only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will be claimed through decisive action. We have to take the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what the plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. In the time in Charlian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. Make matters worse, a surge in abductors of kobolds, Sagan, Ixal, and Nada have given rise to the increasing number of primals as well. The triumph of Razad Han has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. And it is you, the sons of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of the forces will continue to hold the Telephorai at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart. Garlemald. This brave few be the Ilzabard contingent. To think such progress have been made in such a short span. Its objectives are twofold. First, to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Telephorai with every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it's the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion or morality. For without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. We're all human, Jeff. Aye. On that note, we can agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred Orion J observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telephorai. Certainly are in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spires' primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be sustained by Stoll's analysis of the towers. Influence on ethereal currents. Based on our observations inside the Tower of Zot, spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it and maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than was required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it's not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to a larger spire in the capital. There's logic in that. Regardless, Once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. It's all well and good, but what you have us do, I assume, is more than handing over the scales and begin our way. We want you and your scales to join the XIV contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. You accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. I'll say no. Go say no. For honor and glory. Couldn't have put it better myself. Ishtola, Thancred, and Orion J have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come in the same direction as they did. Luckily, for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warring scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilzabard. Raban and Lord Aemeric are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Like warm clothing, furs and the like, without it, the cold will do you before the Telephorai. So much is raw still. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. Not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go. Safe in the knowledge that Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. The Alamigan Quarter. One second. So this is for this. All right. Hello. Rabba. Tom Lucy. Ah, the Wanderers return. I've been busy bringing down the tower and producing the keys to destroy the rest of them. You should be proud. This hoarding scales of yours is what made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Aemeric be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defense efforts fall into disarray.